Hey everybody, Discipleship Gaming, and today we are opening up into Mark chapter 5 in our day 14 of our devotional Seek First 365, where we read through the Bible in a whole entire year in a devotional series. Today we are finishing off Mark chapter 5, starting in verse 21, ending all the way into verse 43. So there's a lot to go through in this one. I'm going to try to get it done in 10 minutes, but we'll see how this goes. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. I would love to answer any questions. And if this is an encouragement to you, make sure you guys go share it with your friends and your family, and go share the good news with Jesus Christ, everybody. So starting in verse 21, it is titled, Jesus Heals a Woman and Jairus' Daughter. Now, if you guys have seen The Chosen, which I highly recommend you guys go see this show, they did an episode on this specific passage, and it was so well done, and it was an amazing way of how they enveloped the story. It made it feel like you're actually there. I highly recommend you guys go watch that. But not to get sidetracked, we see in 21 through basically until verse 40, we see there's this woman who is has had this disease where she is constantly discharging blood. It's constant. It's horrible. But one thing that made it so hard on her was in that time for Jewish tradition, if you were considered unclean, you could not be around anyone or your family or anything. And this would be she was considered unclean because of the constant discharge of blood that she had. And it was really hard for her to be around people. She couldn't be around people, and if she touched somebody else, they had to go for, I think it was like 24 hours or until sunrise to be considered clean and get washed and stuff like that. Even if they didn't touch the blood, if they just touched them alone, they were considered unclean. And it was a very huge, big thing back then. But this woman had this issue with the discharge of blood, and it was such a big issue for her. But we prior to that, we see Jesus comes into this town, and this man named Jairus comes to Jesus and asking, Jesus, please come and heal my daughter. She's really, really sick, and I would love for I need you to put your healing hands on her. I know you can heal her. So Jesus, knowing his heart, goes to this Jairus' house to go heal his daughter. But at the same time, everyone recognizes who Jesus is, and they start crowding around Jesus. So it's really hard for him to try to get through. So his disciples are trying to help him get through all this and stuff. And this lady who had been having this discharge issue recognized who she was, and she said, if I could just touch his garments, I can be healed. That is the faith this woman had. She knew who this Jesus was. She knew the power this man had, and she knew that just by touching just a little bit of his garments, she would be healed. And remember, she'd been dealing with this illness for such a long time. She was so tired of it. And she had the faith, knowing what she heard about Jesus, never met him, knew that she could be healed just by the touch of his garment. That is some serious faith. It's amazing what kind of faith this woman had. So we see Jesus continuing to walk through this crowd, trying to get to this man's house. Everyone's like, Jesus, we want to talk to you, all this stuff. They want to meet Jesus. Like, he's basically a celebrity at this point. But this lady comes, tries to get a touch of Jesus' garment, and barely touches it, and she's healed. Just like that. She could feel the power through her as she was miraculously healed just by touching a little bit of her garment. But at the same time, Jesus could feel that power leaving him, which I thought was really cool. Like, imagine feeling just like, oh, something left me. Like, he could sense it. Like, imagine having that feeling. Like, there's so many people touching you, you just feel that one person. And he stops for me. He's like, who touched me? And all the disciples are like, Jesus, there's like hundreds of people around us. Like, everyone's been kind of trying to touch you. We're confused here. But Jesus knew exactly what happened. And at this very moment when the lady saw what was going on, she came up to Jesus and said, it was me. I touched your garment. I've been dealing with this ailment of discharge of blood for years, and I knew if I could just touch your garment, I would be healed. And what Jesus says after that is so cool. I want to read it for you guys. In verse 34, in Mark 5, verse 34, it says this, And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." Oh my goodness! Can we just like drop Micah here for a minute? Like Jesus just drops the mic here. Just, you all good? I got no bad feelings against you. You're good. And it's so cool to see this, but my favorite thing is the way he says daughter. Like, he doesn't know this woman personally, but he calls her daughter because of her faith in him. And that's, I believe this is where we get, like, where it's like brothers and sisters in Christ, daughter in Christ, all this stuff. Is because when we become when we become believers in Jesus Christ, we become a family. We become brothers, we become sisters, we become daughters and sons of the Most High King. And it is so amazing to think about it. It's so, so cool. And I love how he calls this woman that daughter. Your faith has made you well. It wasn't because she touched the garment. It was because of her faith that she was made clean. And I absolutely love that. Now, as we continue into this next part, after this happens, let's see. Oh, I love this part. So we see after this, people start crowding again. Jairus is getting really frustrated, frustrated because he's like, my daughter is going to die. You need to come now. And this part, I want to read the next couple verses for you guys. It says, while he was still speaking, there came the ruler's house, who said, your daughter is dead. So at this point, it's been such a long time since they announced that she was sick, and they were there and she passed away. And they have to go tell the father. It's like, don't bother him. He can't do anything. Don't. Just let him go. It's fine. It's too late anyway. This is where it gets really cool. So he says, your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further? Not knowing what Jesus can do at this point. This man can literally raise people from the dead. Which, we'll get into that later in the throughout the New Testament. So, spoiler alert. If you haven't read, spoiler alert. But overhearing what they said in verse 36, Jesus said to the ruler of the synagogue, this is my favorite quote right here. This is my favorite quote. Do not fear, only believe. Another mic drop here. Oh my gosh. Like, what the heck? This is amazing. I wanted to actually get that quote on a t-shirt or on a hoodie, because I believe, like, if you guys get anything out of what I say today, this is the big thing I want you guys to understand. Do not fear, only believe. I want you guys to understand that in such an important way. Because we, as a generation, as human beings, we live our lives so full of fear. We live in fear. It's like, oh, well, I don't think I have enough money to do this. I don't have time to do this. What if I can't do this? What if Respectfully, just shut up. Just shut up and let God take care of it. You need to trust God. Do not fear of what is going to happen. Just believe and trust God will provide for you, because he will provide for you in every need possible. And I want you guys, if you guys get anything, that is what I want you guys to understand. Do not fear, only believe. Just five simple words. Do not fear, only believe. I want you guys to write that on a sticky note, actually. Write that on a sticky note and put it on, like, your bathroom wall so you guys remember. As you guys go out through your day, do not fear, only believe that Jesus will help you and God will provide for what you need in that day. If you guys get anything out of what I say today, I want you guys to get that. But we're going to continue real quick because I only got one more minute. So Jesus still goes to the Jairus' house, and there's a bunch of wailers and stuff. They hire people to wail for the deceased, this whole thing, which we can get into a whole nother video about that. But Jesus enters and he tells everyone to leave, even the parents, all this. They're like, everyone, get out. Let me handle this. And this is so cool. In verse 41, he says, taking her by the hand, he said to her, Talitha kumi, if I'm saying it right, which means, little girl, I say to you, arise. And immediately the girl got up and began walking. And they were immediately overwhelmed with amazement. And he strictly charged them no one should know this, and told them to give her something to eat. That's all I got for you guys today. Have a great day. God bless you guys. Peace!